Howdy y'all! Thank you for joining us today for this unboxing of Marvel Champions the card game, Sinister Motives expansion. This is a scenario, the fourth one? Yes, I'm pretty sure the fourth one, unless I'm missing count. As you can see here, what they do with these, they typically have two new decks, just like the hero decks that you can buy separately, but they have two of them in here. This will be a Ghost Spider and Miles Morales Spider-Man. And then typically there is a scenario you can go through, and then it adds a bunch of villains. So this is kind of like a big box expansion to the core game. But I know I've been looking forward to this one because it's got, well, my two favorite Spider-Man villains, Doc Ock and Mysterio. So we'll take a look at what's inside this. And then, of course, when I get done with this, probably won't be able to go straight to it because I just now ran from the shop to do this. But tonight I'll try to do a playthrough with the actual, the decks. Because what I like to do is take the hero decks, play through them unchanged against Rhino. Just kind of see how the deck plays and whether it can be played straight out of the box with just some minor changes. But as you can see here, we got the book here, and I'm not going to go through everything in this. I'm just going to show kind of the details here as they show you the difference between the villain cards and identity cards. Any new keywords you may need to know. Talks about a new mode of play, the campaign basically. A reputation track, which I do not remember, but I could be wrong. And then after that, it kind of just goes into a story here. Just got the expert campaign. It starts with a story, and then as you go through the story, it's going to get to the first scenario and tell you, okay, you need to fight Sandman, and here's how you set it up and whatnot. All the way through, there's usually 5 scenarios. Yep. So 5 scenarios, and then you get the final story. Like I said, I didn't want to spoil all that. I just know that there's like 5 of those in there. All right. And then other than that, all that's going to be in here is a bunch of cards. I'm assuming both of these are the hero decks. So we'll go through those. And then we have the scenarios, which we already saw Sandman's the first one here. But I'll zoom in a little bit, and I'll also get these kind of in order. That way we can just kind of go through them. All right, we're going to go through all the villain decks first. And hopefully, if there's any that are flip-sided, I'll try to show both sides. I know last time I tried to do this, yeah, there were definitely cards I didn't notice till late in it that, oh yeah, these are double-sided for some reason. All right, so right at the bottom, we already saw that Sandman is the first one. It says here there's going to be 18 cards in his deck. So here's his stage 1, his stage 2, and his stage 3. Then we're going to have his main scheme here. Sorry about that edit, barking dog. Here we go. We got the city streets here, which is an environment. Usually environments are something that are going to come into play. We got an attachment, 2 of those. His sand clones as a minion, 4 of those. Side scheme dirt trap. Dirt trap. Tidal sands. Then we have some treacheries here. And then that should be all the Sandman. All right, we have the Venom, which is what everyone's been looking forward to, the Venom villain. It says there's going to be 14 cards in his deck. Here's his stage 1, his stage 2, his stage 3. Then we have his main scheme, Leave Us Alone. And then his environment, Bell Tower. And then we have some attachments. Then a side scheme, Guard the Bell Tower. Lashing Out. Tooth and Nail. Biting Retort for Treacheries. For Whom the Bell Tolls. And then that's the villain deck for Venom. Next we have Mysterio here. You see stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Maze of Mirrors as his second side or main scheme, and then his Edge of Reality as his main scheme. Then we have some attachments here, which are his Mirages. And then we have his minions, Shifting Apparition. So a bunch of minions there. And then we get to his treacheries, Deja Vu, Fearmonger, and that is the Mysterio. And then we have Doc Ock here. Says there's going to be 25 cards in his deck. It's stage 1. Oh, maybe it's not Doc Ock. Oh, yay. I was thinking Doc Ock because I saw Doc Ock, but it's actually the Sinister 6. So it's going to be 25. It's going to be the whole Sinister 6. So we're going to have Electro here also. Hobgoblin, Kraven, Scorpion, Vulture, and then their main scheme, which we have Sinister Synchronization, Sinister Beatdown. Then we have the side scheme, Light at the End. Alright, and then this should continue on through this one, because I saw it said Sinister 6 down here on the back. Sinister 6, here's the attachments. Taunting Presence, Team Leader, Brute Force Barricade, Frequent Flyers, High Fashion, Robotic Enhancements, Partnership of Pain, Surprise, and then that's the Sinister 6. And then we get into Venom Goblin. So I'm assuming Green Goblin with Venom Symbiote. There's stage 2, stage 3. Then we have the main scheme. Environment into a scheme, I guess. Interesting. Skies over New York. Oh, sorry, I was a little off camera. Hopefully those others weren't. Then we have the main scheme here, Lower Manhattan, Midtown Manhattan, Upper Manhattan. Yep, we are one. So basically, Green Goblin with the Venom Symbiote. We got Festering Mass here. Now, I'm not showing the backs of the... I guess I should have been showing the backs of the main schemes, but all they show is they just show how to set them up. Joyride, Spreading Panic, Panic in the Streets. Rhino is a minion. Calling in favors. Oh, wait. Nope. Hey. Thought that seemed a little weird. Let's go back. So that was the Venom Goblin. And now we get into all the little extra side scenarios. This one is City and Chaos, which is Panic in the Streets as a side scheme. It's got Rhino. So these are the ones that will just mix in. Calling in favors. Now or Never. And then we get down to Earth. There's going to be 7 in this one. Common Criminals. Friends and Family. Volunteer Work. Threat or Menace. And Loose Ends. And then we have Goblin Gear. Going to be 6 in here. Advanced Glider. Concussive Bombs. Incendiary Bombs. Smoke Bombs. Limitless Supply as a side scheme. And then a Treachery Remote Navigation. Then we get into Guerrilla Tactics, where there will be 7 of them. Life-Size Decoy. 2 of those. Coordinated Effort. Hidden in Shadows. And then we're going to go into the last of the villain decks here, which should probably be the rest of... Ooh, I almost bent that card. Which should be the rest of the side scenarios, and then the stuff that's for the actual scenario or campaign. We have Teamwork Makes the Dream Work. From Every Direction. And From Every Direction. Then we got Osborne Tech. Arm Cannon. Ionic Boots. There's 6 in here. Kinetic Armor. Neocarbon Scales. Spiked Gauntlet. And Tracking Display. Then we have Personal Nightmares, 7 cards, Induced Panic, Evil Doppelganger, Fool's Paradise, Weakness from Within, Deepest Fears, and then we get to the Sinister Assault, Doc Ock, Electro, Hobgoblin, Kraven, and Scorpion, and Vulture. So all that does is if you just want to add the Sinister 6 just in, it's not going to do anything else other than this. They're just going to show up as Sinister Assault of minions, basically. And then we have Symbiotic Strength, 9 of them. Looks like these are attachments. So basically, you mix this in and it's just, yep, just basically the symbiote attaching to whatever villain or just being in the story with the villain. Then we have Whispers of Paranoia, 5 of them. And then Analysis Paralysis there. Then we have the campaign card. So that's all the little side scenarios. And now these are the campaign cards. And when you go through the campaign, they'll tell you how to use these. There's the Public Outcry. There's the Expert Mode, Public Outcry. We have Smear Campaign, Back Alley Bureaucracy, Cat in a Tree. It's like, are these double-sided? Henchman Heist, Off the Rails, Rubble Rescue, Snitches Get Stitches. And then we got some shield tech here, which, oh. So basically there's upgrades. And I'm assuming they're upgrades you'll get throughout the campaign. Laser Goggles, Propulsion Gauntlet, Retinal Display, Shock Knuckles, Wave Bracers, and Wrist Navigator. I can get my fat thumb out of the way. And he's got some basic. Are these? No, yeah, these are hero cards. Maybe you pick them up. These look like cards that can be added to the deck. It does just say basic, so I'm thinking these can be just added to the deck maybe. And they're just also part of the campaign. Because we got Venom Ally here. I mean, he's 4, 6 hit points, 2 thwart, 3 attack. After you reveal an encounter card, deal 1 damage to Venom. Deal damage to an enemy equal to the number of icons in that card's boost area. Oh, but so yeah, I mean, it looks like a guide you can have with you. I just don't know. I'm assuming it doesn't look like anything that tells me you can't add this to your deck normally. But it does. If you bring him out, you're going to have to deal yourself an extra encounter, and he's going to be taking damage. So, I mean, I guess a 4, and you get at least guaranteed a 3 attack, probably twice. So, and then we have Symbiote Suit. So if you want to have this in your deck to where you can just give yourself the Symbiote Suit, but of course, you get +1 all powers, +1 hand size, +10 hit points, but you're going to have to deal yourself an extra encounter card every turn while this is attached. They give you 4 of those. Oh, it's only max 1 per deck. Oh, so they're probably part of the campaign, but I don't see any reason why you couldn't attach these. They don't say anything about having to be part of the campaign, so you could put these in your deck. There's only 1 per deck, though, and that's the reason they give you 4, because you can put them in your deck during the campaign. You might have 4 players, but I also don't see any reason why you couldn't just add those to your personal deck. Anyways, that's enough talking about that. Let's get into the cards here. We'll start with Ghost Spider, since I just had that one on top. And I won't go through every single one of these cards. I'll try to go through the ones that are brand new. But as you see here, we have Ghost Spider. She has 1 thwart, 2 attack, 3 defense. As a response, after you resolve an interrupt or responsibility on any event, ready Ghost Spider. So she has a way of untapping. Seems pretty decent. Other side, her alter ego, Gwen Stacy, of course, because it says Spider-Gwen. We have a 3 recovery. As an action, choose to either shuffle Ticket to the Multiverse from your discard pile into your deck or ready George Stacy. Guess we'll see. So I'm going to keep an eye out for Ticket to the Multiverse and George Stacy, so we can kind of see what those are all about. But then we have next her 15 cards that if you want to play her, you have to have them in your deck. We got Ghost Kick here. 2 for a hero response. After Ghost Spider uses a basic power, deal 6 damage to an enemy. So whether you attack, defend... No, it's hero response. Oh, use basic power, so I guess. But yeah, 2. We got Ghost Kick. We got 3 Ghost Kicks. So I mean, adding the damage or being able to thwart with her and be able to do that seems really good. We have Parental Guidance. It's her alter ego card. If George Stacy is in play, attach one event from your hand or discard pile face down to George Stacy. If George Stacy is not in play, search your deck and discard pile for him and add him to your hand. Alright. We got Phantom Flip. As you can see here, 2 hero response. After Ghost Spider use a basic power, remove 5 threat from a scheme. So just like the other one, but this one's going to let you remove threat. I like that these are responses. That's kind of my playstyle since I play the Ant-Man deck, which is all about responding. So I keep seeing these little flecks they're throwing on here. I keep thinking there's stuff on the card. Anyways, here we got this one. It's a Pirouette and Punch. When a card is revealed from the encounter deck, deal damage to the villain equal to 1 more than the number of boost icons on that card. Cancel that card's when revealed effects. Seems good to stop Shadows of the Past or some of those really bad response cards. Web Binding is an event requirement. While paying for this card, spend the listed resources. You can only pay with the mental resource. But as a hero interrupt, when an enemy would activate, cancel that activation. If a minion's activation was canceled this way, deal 4 damage to that minion. So she's all about responding. So I think, as much as I didn't think I was looking forward to playing one of these characters, I mean, I'll play them, of course. I want to play them. She sounds kind of like my playstyle. I might have to try her. All right, here's George Stacy, since we've had everything talking about it. It's a support for 1. Events attached to George Stacy may be played as if they were in your hand. As an action, exhaust George Stacy. Attach 1 event from your hand face down here. So let you just kind of float cards, and then if I remember right, her ability was to unexhaust him, and then the parental guidance lets you attach other stuff. So pretty cool. And then Ticket to the Multiverse was the other side of her thing. It's a 3-cost upgrade. Remove Ticket to the Multiverse from the game. Discard your hand. Shuffle your discard pile into your deck. Draw up to your hand size and ready each Ghost Spider card you control. So basically, if you can time this right, I get that as it doesn't trigger the you actually redoing your deck. I'll have to read the rules on that to be sure. So this might be a way around it, but I may be overreading on that. Web Bracelet. Hero response. After you resolve an interrupt or responsibility on any event, exhaust Web Bracelet, draw a card. And there's 2 of those. So those are our 15 cards. And then next, she is a protection deck, as we can see here. And I guess if I would have looked in the book, it would have showed us this. And these are usually going to be, so these are all going to be all this aspect of protection. And usually the first one's always a new ally. And one of the new allies we have here is Silk. She is 2 costs for 2 hit points, 1 thwart, 1 attack for 1 consequence star each. As a response, after you play Silk from your hand, if you control another Web Warrior card, search the encounter deck for a treachery and discard it. And I'm assuming, and of course I mixed her in. She is a Web Warrior, and I'm assuming we can already see, Miles Morales is too. So if you're playing her in one of these decks, or if there's other ones inside these decks, basically let you go get rid of that Shadows of the Past, that nasty little card. We got another Web Warrior here. Spider-Man, another Miles Morales Spider-Man. So that means now there's a basic one and this protection one. 4 costs for 3 hit points, 1 thwart, 2 attack, 1 consequence star each. As a response, after you play Spider-Man from your hand, stun and confuse an enemy you control if you control at least 3 Web Warrior cards. So I'm assuming it's going to be another, if I said that to give you some more Web Warriors then, because you need 3 of them here. Now granted, it's easier with these guys because you'll have them out all the time, but pretty cool. I mean, that's almost as good. Well, he don't really do anything for 3. I mean, 6 damage for 4. I think I like the basic Miles Morales a little bit more, but we got Spider UK here, which is Billy Braddock. 3 for 5 hit points, 1 thwart, 1 consequence star, 2 attack, 2 consequence stars. When Spider UK defends against an attack, deal damage to the attacking enemy equal to the number of Web Warrior cards you control. Then we get Bait and Switch. This is an old one, but they go ahead and give you 3 of them. Had this one before. Jump Flip, I believe, is new. It's a defense card for 1 event. Hero Interrupt. when you would take any amount of damage, prevent 2 of that damage. If you paid for this card using the Reflex resource, remove 2 threat from the main scheme. So prevents damage and kind of thwarts a little bit. But you have to make sure your deck has a lot of these. But, well, just at least one of them. So that's not that bad. That's actually pretty good. That is a new card, I'm pretty sure. Return to Favor, I think, is new. I don't remember it. 0 event. Hero action. Discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until you discard a Treachery. Reveal that Treachery. Deal 5 damage to the villain. So you'll have to reveal a Treachery, but you can do 5 damage for 0. But if you're playing her and she has that card, I mean, yeah, you got to pay 2 still, but you're going to be able to do 5 damage and do more damage equal to the boost and stop that Treachery from happening. Neat little combo I can see going on there. Believe this is a new one also. What doesn't kill me? Requirement is, so this is something new I noticed with that other card. Requiring you can only pay with a certain resource. And I'm kind of glad they put it here instead of here. I mean, I guess they could have put it up here. There's a little just key thing to remind you, that way you don't miss it. But you should be reading your cards anyways. But yeah, so for 2, it's an event. It's a hero action. Heal 2 damage from your hero to ready them. So you get to heal and ready. Seems pretty good. Then we have another Spider-Man and a Web Warrior, and it's a basic. We got Hobie Brown here. 3 for 3 hit points. 2 thwart for 2 consequence. 1 attack for 1 damage. Play only if you control a Web Warrior card. So you have to have another Web Warrior out. As an interrupt, when Spider-Man leaves play, discard the top 3 cards of the encounter deck. Deal damage to the villain equal to the number of boost icons discarded this way. So he's basically going to be able to do some damage or thwarting, and then as he goes out, do some more. But you do have the Web Warrior out. So that kind of, across the Spiderverse, max 1 per deck. Exhaust a Web Warrior card you control. Search your discard pile for a Web Warrior ally and put it into play. Then choose a player. Choose a player. That player may spend 3 resources of any type to repeat this ability. So basically the Spider-Verse. You're activating the Spider-Verse. Pretty cool. Young Love. Team up of Gwen Stacy and Miles Morales. Alter Ego action. Heal 3 damage each from Gwen Stacy and Miles Morales. Then we have the basic Energy Genius Strength. Web of Life and Destiny. I've been seeing these locations more. Web Warrior. Ignore this card's resource cost if your identity has the Web Warrior trait. When I say more, sorry, my brain just all of a sudden switched to Legendary mode because that just got introduced in Legendary a little while back. And for some reason, yeah, these have been around for a while. I'm a dummy. Anyways, response: after a Web Warrior ally leaves play, choose a player. That player draws a card. Another upgrade: play under any player's control. Plan B, hero action: exhaust Plan B and discard 1 random card from your hand. Deal 2 damage to an enemy. That's a new one. So is Web Life and Destiny. Alright, so that is the new cards and the deck. Next, we're going to see the obligation, and then there should be her arch nemesis, along with the arch nemesis side scheme and some cards that'll mix in when told to do such. So her obligation, of course, get on camera there, stupid. Her obligation, of course, is Worried Father. So what this is when it comes up during the encounter phase, if you're the one playing Gwen Stacy, whether you are the one to flip this up or not, you're going to have to deal with this obligation. The obligation of a Worried Father. Then we have the Lizard. I know I'm skipping over it because I'm going to. The Lizard is her arch nemesis, which will be brought into play with Shadows of the Past. And then when he gets brought into play, we're going to get the side scheme of Regenerative Research. And then these will mix into the deck, which is Experimental Injection, In Cold Blood, and In Cold Blood. Sorry if a lot of those were going off camera. I think I have this a little bit closer than I'm used to when I'm doing this. So I think I'm trying to go in the natural mode here, and I'm trying to switch back. But anyways, let's get into this Miles Morales. This video is pretty long already. Alright, we got Miles Morales here, Spider-Man. Champion and Web Warrior. 2 thwart, 2 attack, 2 defense. Venom Blast. Special. Deal 2 damage to an enemy. Stun that enemy. So I'm assuming he's going to have something that's going to tell him he can trigger his specials because I don't see any reason how this would trigger. Spider Camouflage Special gives Spider-Man a tough status card, confuse an enemy. Then we have his alter ego, Miles Morales. For recovery, he has a response ability. After you change to this form, shuffle one Spider-Man card from your discard pile into your deck. So, little healing and get some of your good cards back. Now we're going to get to his 15 cards here. We got Arachnobatics, an event, hero action, attack, deal 2 damage to an enemy. If that enemy has a stun status card, deal 3 additional damage to it. If that enemy has a confused status card, deal 3 additional damage to it. So I got a feeling they went into the vein of the way Spider-Woman worked, to where if you could throw these things around, which we saw he can already kind of do it with one of his specials, but if you could throw these conditions around, then you're going to do more stuff. And he's probably going to have ways to do some of that too. Got the double life here, an event. Go to play once per, max 1 per round, so there's going to probably be more of them here. As an action, change your form. If you paid for this card using a strength or physical resource, ready your identity. And there's the double life, 2 of them. We got swing in, hero action, remove 4 threat from a scheme. If you paid for this card using a mental resource, resolve Spider-Man's spider camouflage ability, which is the special down here. So it lets you know which ones you are doing. And I'm assuming, yep, I was going to say the next one's probably going to do with his Venom Blast ability, which it does. Deal 4 damage to an enemy. If you paid for this card using the Reflex resource, then you also get to do his Venom Blast ability, which was another 2 damage and stun that enemy. So, pretty cool. Genki Lee. Exhaust Genki Lee. Draw 1 card. If you are in hero form, choose and discard 1 card from your hand. Jefferson Davis. Exhaust Jefferson Davis. Remove 1 threat from the scheme with the least threat. And then Power Within. After your hero uses a basic power, discard Power Within. Resolve Spider-Man's Venom Blast. So getting to do 2 damage. And this one's probably the same one. After your hero uses a basic power, discard Defense Mechanism to do the Spider Camouflage, which is gain a tough status and make and confuse them. Web Shooter. 3 uses. Exhaust Web Shooter, remove 1 web counter from it, generating a wild resource. Alright. And then now we get into, he has a Justice deck. We see the new ally that comes in for Justice here, Monica Chang. She's a shield, which I think I just built a shield deck, so might look into that. After Monica Chang enters play, search your deck, hand, and discard pile for a copy of the Surveillance Team support and put it into play. Place 1 Snoop counter on each Surveillance Team you control. Pretty cool. So Surveillance Team, if I remember right, is the one that you basically put counters on it and you can exhaust it to remove threat from a scheme. So this is going to let you want to play with more of them, or hopefully have other players who are playing with them, because you'll be able to put more counters on them. And plus go get one. So pretty cool. There's a Web Warrior, Shield Web Warrior, Spider-Woman, Jessica Drew. We were just talking about her. Reduce the cost to play Spider-Woman by 1 for each confused enemy in play. So she can get cheap if you're doing a lot of your confuses. We got Homeland Intervention here. Exhaust up to 3 shield cards you control and choose a scheme. Remove 2 threat from that scheme for each card exhausted this way. So this is going into the shield deck, which I just built one. So be interesting to look at some of these cards, see if I'll put any of them in there. Global Logistics. Exhaust 1 shield card you control. Look at the top 4 cards of a player deck or encounter deck. Discard any number of those and put the others on top and or bottom of that deck in any order. So planning ahead. Field Agent. Uses 3 backup counters. When a shield ally would take any amount of consequential damage, exhaust Field Agent and remove 1 backup counter from it. Prevent 1 of that damage. So basically, it makes it where your shield agents can stick around a little bit longer, like Coulson and stuff. Here's that Surveillance Team. We were just talking about it. So this is... Oh, I'm sorry. I should have been mentioning. As far as I know, all these we went through are all new so far. This is the first old one I've seen before. And that is Surveillance Team here. And even though I don't go over the ones we've already gone before, because it had to do with that one, Yeah, exhaust surveillance team, remove one snoop counter from it to remove a threat from a scheme. So, and you can have multiple mounts, so basically just helps you do a lot of that. We got Agent 13 here. The only other place I know she's in, I can remember off the top of my head, is the Captain America 15 cards. But as you can see here, as a response when she attacks or thwarts, after Agent 13 attacks or thwarts, choose a shield support. Ready that support. Surveillance team. Ooh. One of my favorite shield agents, Dgan. Or Dgan, however you want to say it. But yeah, 5. Oh man, 3. Really? I mean, I guess 3 thwart, but man, he takes damage like a... Well, was that prevent all consequence or just one of? It just prevents one of, but... Alright. When you use one of his powers, exhaust up to 3 shield cards you control. For each card exhausted this way, he gets +1 for that power. So, I mean... If you don't want to use up your surveillance teams, or you don't need to at the moment, he can do a lot of damage. Here's another Web Warrior. We get the Ghost Spider. I guess since they already released Miles Morales, which I believe is just a champion. I don't remember the Web Warrior thing being on. I think he's just a champion. But play only if you control a Web Warrior card. When Ghost Spider leaves play, search your deck for an identity-specific event and add it to your hand. I like that it's identity-specific, but you're going to go into the Web Warrior deck. Kind of limits you a little bit, I think. Here's old Peter Parker, Spider-Man. Requirements: while paying this card, spend the listed resources. So you have to pay those 3 resources in order to bring him out. But, I mean, 3 for 3 does 2 damage. 2 thwart. After Spider-Man attacks or thwarts, choose another Web Warrior character and ready them. Seems pretty good. We already saw this in the other deck, Young Love. Then we have the Energy, Genius, Strength. We have the Government Liaison. Hero action, exhaust Government Liaison. Play a shield card from your hand. Reduce its resource cost by 1. Probably definitely go with my shield deck. Sky Destroyer. After you play a shield card, exhaust Sky Destroyer. Deal 2 damage to an enemy. Definitely going in my deck. And there's only one of those. Alright, let's get to his obligation. Keeping secrets here. Then his nemesis is Prowler. With his side scheme of tracking prey. Then we got Razor Claws, Slice and Dice, Slice and Dice. Alright, so that was a little bit longer than I thought. Some surprises here. Not as surprised as I was with the Asgardian one. That one really, the Thanos one. If you want to watch my playthrough, I was kind of really taken aback because I didn't realize the Asgardian was all part of that. I don't know if I just didn't pay attention or what. So it was a pleasant surprise for me. I was already kind of looking forward to this. Kind of wish it was a Doc Ock by himself villain. I mean, I get it. He's a villain in the Sinister Six vein over here with the Sinister Six, but I like Doc Ock. I always liked him as a kid. Maybe because I had a coloring book with him, or I don't know. So I was kind of looking forward to having just Doc Ock, but to have the whole Sinister Six is cool because I also like Kraven. You know, great story with him. All right, well. Sure, this video was long enough. I'll try to get to these playthroughs. Hopefully get them edited up. I know I never got around to the Valkyrie one and stuff till way later. So we'll try to get to these. But thank you for watching and have a great day.